This is Cosmic Chocolate, and thanks everyone for listening to Derby Rocz. Please listen in for more Derby material.
Yo. She's the hottest little deal on 8 wheels, burning like a babe out of hell. Jamming in a blocker and a little skull knocking, it's enough to make a grown man yell. Go, roller girl, look at that girl roll. Roller derby saved my soul.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, happy Friday. We made it. It's another week. It's your old pal Schramm and Cashman. You're listening to Derby Rocz.
This is not a recorded show.
No, we're actually here. We're live and in studio. Hi, how are you? Hey, Cash.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm going to go ahead and crack open my energy seltzer water.
There you go.
As you do, because I always got to have some type of caffeine. But
me too.
We're doing all right, man. It's Friday. I'm freaking relieved. Let me tell you what. These weeks are just getting longer, it seems, and I am tired.
You know, everybody has the $1 million question that they want to say, okay, how was Creed?
Oh, man.
Well, we talked about it on last weweek's show. So
when we get there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's part of your week.
Yeah, I've got a great story.
No.
Yeah, Scott Stapp, love that guy. No, I ended up leaving a bit early, and it's actually quite an interesting story. So
okay, cool. I just was thinking about like what kind of cliffhanger do we leave last week?
No, it's a great, not so great story that I'm excited about. So. We're gonna have a great show you for you.
Yeah.
Show you for you. Oh, hi, I'm from Minnesota today. Show you for you. Jeez, I can talk. My name's Chris Schramm. I've done this before. Cash and I are both tired. Yep. We're worn down, but we're here. We're live and in studio. Happy to be here. It's gonna be a good one. We know that the MRDA Champs is just 1 week away. 8 days from now, I believe, we get the start of international.
Is it 8 days? I thought it was Friday.
No, isn't it only 2 days?
Now I'm going to look it up.
Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong. We'll hear all about it, but I do think it's only 2 days. I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
Either way, it's either a week away or 8 days away. But we've got MRDA Champs coming up. So we are going to have Bratz from Magic City Misfits come on. This is a new friend that we've never had on before. So I'm excited to talk to him. He's a jammer, somebody, and I don't believe I've met them. So this is going to be a exciting time. You know, it's always great when we get somebody brand new on the show because it doesn't always happen. So I'm excited. It's live. It's Friday. We're happy to be here. Cash is doing some research. We're all going to get to our weeks. We got a couple of pages of news.
Yeah, there's actually way more going on than what we have going on. So it's kind of a bummer.
It's a lot
because I couldn't find it. It's okay. So it starts the 10th. So it's that would be today's.
What's today?
So you're right. It's Saturday. No, today's the 4th. So 10th would be Thursday. No, I'm wrong. I'm reading the wrong thing. No. I'm reading the wrong thing.
God, we are professionals.
No, I believe it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because there's 12 teams.
I was going to say, does it really say it starts the 10th?
No. That was something, an advertisement. I was going to
say the 11th is a Friday.
Okay, so
yeah.
Good. Good to figure that out. I mean, I'm pretty sure I looked at the brackets and it was like.
Well, we can. You talk for a second, and I'll log on to MRDA real quick.
Okay, very cool. So, but that's exciting because we are now getting. We have this, and then we have.
We've got WFTDA right around the corner.
Yeah, coming right
that.
Less than a month. So, and it's almost Halloween. It's almost time for the Flower City Fear boot camp too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I almost keep forgetting about that. We have a few people signed up. We'd love to get a few more. So if you're here in Rochester listening on 106.3 WRFZ, we would love to have you. So please, by all means.
October 11th through the 13th. So that would be a week from today. So it does start Friday.
Oh, okay. Look at me being wrong. All right. It starts Friday. That's great. So 1 week from today, Champs. Either way, we're going to have Bratz from Magic City.
Yeah.
A new friend. Bratz with
not
Z.
Not Bratty.
No, we've had Bratty on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Bratty's up there with a number of guest spots on the show. But no, Bratz with a Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
like the
cool.
cool kids do, like Derby Rocz.
I want to ask him about some stuff like they have a little bit of a competition with the St. Louis Gatekeepers. They've had a couple games.
They've gone back and forth a little bit. Throw Denver in there, and
yeah.
Magic City's one of the only teams to beat the Gatekeepers in the last decade or whatever now.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I'm unsure of when Bratz joined, so we'll have to see. But we're going to learn all about it coming up in our next segment.
And they're going to be flying to the other side of the world for next weekend. So
yes,
which
certainly
is super exciting.
Yes, yeah, I've got some champs related questions on the old notes here, so I'm really looking forward to it. I will say it's fall here, but today was a nice day. It wasn't too hot, too cold. Relatively cool, but it is fall. We are into October, if you can believe that.
Everything's pumpkin,
all the pumpkin. Yeah, it's not it for me, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even really like pumpkin pie. I just don't like the taste of it all that much. So it is not like a particularly. I love fall, but I don't love pumpkin.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I like the pies, but I'm not a big fan of like the pumpkins.
You don't get like PSLs or anything like that. No pumpkin spice lattes for you.
No, thank you. So yeah, that. But also, there's a pumpkin spice beer. I think I told this story before why I don't like it, just because. When we used to host UFC pay-per-views at a place around here, it would get down to the end of the pay-per-view, and then they would pour us a pitcher of something that they're trying to empty.
Yeah. And they'd have old pumpkin or something like that.
It was every time, and it's like I tried. I honestly tried.
Can't do it. No, I'm good for maybe one a year,
if
that. And I don't even really drink like that, so like, yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to catch me. Drinking a pumpkin spice beer or a pumpkin spice latte for that matter.
Yeah, I do like pumpkin pie though. I will say that pumpkin pie is okay. So
sure, that's fair.
But it is that time of year. So and I think we usually go off at least once or twice on pumpkin flavored things. So it's not like we're trying to stall for time or anything.
Yeah, no, nothing like that ever. No.
we like to revisit topics.
Sure,
we've been on so many darn years.
We're almost up there. It's funny you mentioned that. Bratz, as I was talking to him, prepping him for the show today, he was like, "Why is it so hard to talk about yourself?" And I was like, "Dude, I've done nearly 500 episodes of a podcast, and I still have a hard time with it. And we do our weeks like weekly, and I'm still always like, there's a lot to look forward to.
Big time, yeah.
So." It is tough. I hear you, but yeah, totally not stalling for time or anything like that. No. Why don't you tell me about your week, man? Because I got a crazy story.
Cool, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I'll go pretty quick because we've been going. But I will say that nothing that spectacular happened last weekend. We got together Sunday night for a little bit, watched a little bit of the Bills game, suffered through that a little bit last week.
What a weird game, right?
Yeah,
it's been a weird football season so far.
Yeah,
lots of weirdness, lots of injury, lots of just nonsense.
Yeah, and it's like, I know, especially if you play fantasy and half your team is on the disabled list, But we could do that Sunday, and I really haven't done anything out of the ordinary this week at all. We are gonna get together this weekend, I believe, and watch a PPV night, as they used to call them,
as they used to say. Yeah, now it's a premium live event.
Yeah,
a good old WWE premium live event.
PLE, and they always say it like that too when they're doing interviews. So on the next PLE, so it's Bad Blood, which is going to be Saturday night. Which ought to be a lot of fun. Nothing spectacular this week.
How's work going this week?
It's been tough. It's like, I mentioned maybe a week or two ago that my boss is taking another job, and so I kind of like have to, run the office for everybody. And, and it's just, I'm getting requests left and right, and it's from every direction. And it seems
like the only one working right now?
We do have a secretary, but secretary is only there for a few hours. And then IT comes to our office, and they do a lot of work, but they don't do what I do, going around the district, having to fix
like
it.
hands-on type stuff.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm making a lot of trips to different buildings and everything. So that was today. Then it was like I was done with today by about lunchtime. It's like I'm done with today.
Gotcha.
But I definitely like my job and everything. It's just one of those days, So nothing spectacular. I'm looking forward to Halloween. I hate to say it's this far away, but man, Halloween.
No, it's always fun.
Yeah.
I get it. I absolutely understand.
I'm
that,
even
definitely.
happy that it's on a Thursday, and it's usually I work Thursday nights to do the board meetings, and there's not one that night. So, kids, I will be out to hand out candy to all you spooky kids coming to my door. They didn't come last year, and you know why? I figured out why. I didn't get any trick-or-treaters last year. And it's because I had a sensor light in the front, and it only would go on if you stepped on come up to the house. So it looked like the light was off the whole time.
Gotcha.
So I felt terrible about that.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that's definitely a bummer, but I don't know. It's weird that there's just not that many kids into like trick-or-treating and stuff anymore. It's really bizarre to me.
Yeah. We get, I
don't know. I live in the city, so maybe that's it, but we only got like eight groups, and they weren't like 2 to 3. I'd say maybe we saw like 20 kids total.
Yeah.
Last year, which was the first Halloween in the house. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, well, this year I'm going to be prepared. Hopefully I'll get some. I have 2 little girls who live next door to me. I feel terrible that they couldn't give them any candy or anything.
You gotta get something going.
Yeah, so I put a new light out in the front, and I'm all ready, but it's a couple weeks away. So if I eat the candy before that day happens,
you might just have to get more
I might have
candy
to leave the lights off, Yeah, set that whole story up. Okay, that's about it for me this week. How about you?
Sure, man. So we recorded last week because I did have to work on Friday, and it just so happens that it was.
Sorry.
No, it's great. This is a good story. It's unbelievable. So it's Creed, 3 Doors Down, and Finger 11. So like pretty much just like bands from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Creed is also a Christian rock band, pretty much. They're considered widely Christian rock because they're, with arms wide open.
Hey, Finger 11 does that song, Paralyzer. Right? That's one song I know.
That. And then they have another one. Finger 11's had like 2 to 3 songs on, pop radio or whatever. But so when I work at the venue that I work at, which is a pretty big venue, it can hold about 22 to 23,000 people, depending on the show and the stage setup and X, Y, and Z. And this show just happened to be sold out. But when I work at the venue, I work with the EMTs that are there because, of course, with that many people, most venues should always have EMTs on hand when you're dealing with that many people and crowds and whatnot. Concerts especially, of course, usually people are drinking, partying, having a good time. So whatever, it's just my job when I work at this particular venue. I hang out. There's a medical station on each side of the venue. There's a north side and a south side. I usually work on the north side. And there's a medical office there that people can come to. It's like the first aid tent or whatever you want to call it. And there's EMTs there. It's my job to literally keep them and any of the patients who are there safe, essentially. So Creed is getting ready to start here soon. I forget exactly what time this is. Maybe 3 Doors Down is still on the stage. I forget what's happening. But I will say like a 20-something woman gets brought to the medical station by her husband to be seen, and then is actively being seen by the EMTs. The EMTs, are doing whatever they need to do. Her husband is the one that brought her there. He is inside the office. We have the doors closed. We only allow like one friend or family member in the office with the EMTs at a time.
Sure.
No problem. Husband comes out. The mom, who is very young to be this woman's mother, no problem, not my place to say.
Yeah.
The mother shows up, and then eventually once the husband comes out, we let her in. After a couple of seconds, I just open the door because it's a good idea to continually check on my EMTs and make sure the situation's going okay. But I find that this woman is now freaking out and shouting about how we're going to kill her daughter, and she just needs water and to be left alone and this and the other. But the daughter is literally on like a gurney, not really doing great, has like a nose cannula, is like actively receiving oxygen. We're clearly treating her and trying to make the situation good.
Yeah.
She's freaking out. She starts pushing on the mom starts pushing on the EMTs. And at this point I have to, okay, you need to leave. Just please exit the office. Please leave the building, or get out of here. Just go out there. I asked multiple times for her to leave, and at no point would she leave. So now she needs to leave the venue. Now you are doing too much. You're pushing on me. You're pushing EMTs. You're physically putting your hands on us. It's time for you to leave. So I, unfortunately, after have asked her to leave multiple times, now I've had enough. I'm going to carry her to the police and let the police decide what they're going to do with this woman, because we have cops nearby on both sides of the venue as well. On our way to the police, she ends up biting me in the arm and punching me in the face multiple times, to the point where I just let go and she falls to the ground. I call for my supervisor, and it's a whole ordeal. This woman ends up, getting arrested, essentially for, biting and punching me.
Yeah, assault.
She's removed from the venue, of course. And at this point, I am just so worked up. I am so angry that I just have to go home. I'm like, I can't be here. If anybody even looks at me funny at this point, I'm gonna lose my mind. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I straight up am like, I gotta go home, and whatever. They were fine with it. Just a crummy situation, because I don't know ultimately what happened to the daughter. I left, so I whatever, but yeah,
that's crazy.
It was insane. Yeah. You won't be able to see it if you are watching on Facebook.com/Derby Rocz, or if you're listening, of course. It's radio, you can't see anything, but I actually have a big old, you might be able to see it, Cashman.
Oh yeah, look at that. Holy cow.
I have probably a hockey puck sized with bruise from her bite. It broke the skin. So I had to go and get tested for, sexually transmitted infection and disease and all that stuff. Not really a great experience for me. And not the way I wanted to end my season at Live Nation. That was the last show of the year. I was sort of looking forward to it because it was supposed to be, a little bit funny. It's Creed, you know what I mean? It's 3 Doors Down. This is hilarious. But yeah, I ended up being bit by a random woman and punched in the face, and having to go through all that. And it's really weird, for anybody listening, be kind to security guards. Here recently, just last week, actually, I think it was the day before, I ended up being bit and punched in the face by this woman. A security guard on Monroe Ave got shot. It was non-life threatening, but, security guards, he was literally trying to break up a fight, according to the reports, and got shot still. And this is just in a bar. This was at O'Callahan's or something like that.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Or Oxford's maybe. It might have been Oxford's, not O'Cal's. But yeah, either way, people are just doing too much. Be kind of security guards. Without security guards, you're not going to have bars. You're not going to have concerts. You're not going to have events. You're not going to have theme parks. All of these things require security guards. And let me tell you what, I'm for one, always considering not going back when things like this happen.
Yeah.
I understand that it's my job to keep people safe, but it's not my job to be bit by insane people or
you
punched
can press
in the
charges,
face.
Or
I mean, like I said, we definitely 100% are. She was arrested. And we'll talk more about the charges and stuff here in a few, but not a great night. I was really miserable, but Saturday was okay. For a different injury, believe it or not, Saturday, I had to start my PT for a different injury that I got at Darien Lake in my arm from, just toss-ups and stuff like that. Mom, I'm sorry you missed it. You're going to have to go back and watch it. I'm not explaining that whole story again. Yeah, it was a lot, but I'll be okay. It's fine. I did some PT on Saturday and then ended up going to urgent care to get the bite taken care of. Then did some thrifting, probably some grocery shopping. Sunday did some adulting. I ran practice Sunday evening, which was all right. I think we had 8 people, which for being in like kind of the dog days of Derby where, we're sort of at the end of the season. We don't really have anything scheduled. Sure. I understand why people aren't showing up, but it's also heartbreaking. Please show up to practice.
There you go.
Yeah. Other than that, I've just had a lot of appointments. I have like 8 different appointments. I had like 8 different appointments this month. I went and saw my urologist. If anybody remembers, I had my surgery at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It turns out that all of that was successful.
Oh, good.
Yeah, got good results back there. So it's like a mix of good news, bad news, lots of appointments, lots of PT. Yeah. I have like PT every week, Tuesday I had to go to Batavia to like the Genesee County Sheriff's Office where I had, give a deposition and sign it and on. Yeah, to be able to press charges, I have to like give my side and they have to, have the pictures of the bite and so on. And yeah, it sounds like ultimately she'll be charged with assault in the 3rd degree.
Wow.
Now, likely she won't plead guilty to that, depending on what type of records she has. Most people will typically take a plea. She'll probably get some type of harassment charge or I don't know, but we'll see how that turns out. Outside of all of that stuff, it was a regular week,
There you go.
Yeah, I'm on antibiotics for a human bite, and I have to get blood tested again in about a month.
Oh boy!
Because usually it wouldn't happen if I did have any positive tests. It normally wouldn't happen in like the 12 hours or whatever it was. The difference between getting tested the first time.
Sure.
So I got to redo that. I am looking forward to this weekend, though. As you mentioned, we've got the premium line event,
PLE.
or the PLE,
PLE,
or the pay-per-view, as many of us know it. Yeah. The pay-per-view is this weekend. Then Buffalo. I'm going to head to Buffalo early Sunday for a few hours. Some of our friends in Team Indigenous are here in town taking on the Sirens. They were doing like a big Team Indigenous practice out near like Niagara at a venue out there. So I'm going to go check that out near Buffalo / Niagara. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Then I'll be back in time for practice. Relatively quiet weekend overall. So it has, I don't know. I want to say it's been a regular week and everything is great, but it's really not, man.
It's all over the place, man.
Lots going on. I'm still struggling with mental health stuff. I do, and I made a joke about it earlier, but I do have a lot to be happy about. I do have a lot to look forward to, but we'll get to that in one of these episodes. But there's a lot going on, and my noodle is not always in the best place, and
sure.
I'm certainly trying, but it's tough some days. And we'll make it through as we always do. Just want to remind you to talk to your friends, get support, reach out to people. If you need help, get help, and it's okay to feel how you feel.
Yeah.
Let's go to break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some happy stuff. We're going to talk MRDA Champs. We're going to talk Magic City Misfits. We're going to talk with Bratz, a jammer from Florida, from Magic City Misfits. Yep. You're listening to Derby Rocks on 106.3 WRFC. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's your old pal Schramm and Cashman. We are live and in studio. We are joined by a new friend, somebody who's new to the program. We are joined by Bratz from the Magic City Misfits, all the way down in Florida, who is headed to England.
That's right, Newcastle.
Newcastle. Thank you. I couldn't think of the town.
Oh yeah.
What's going on, man? How's your night?
Good, man. Very exciting night. Throwing some monster trucks down a slide with a 2-year-old.
Hey, that is fun. I like that.
Further.
That's cool. Monster trucks rule. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Tell me about your origin story and how you got involved in roller derby.
So I think probably around 10 years ago or so, Jacksonville had a Jacksonville roller derby. Used to be Jacksonville Roller Girls, but they were kind of big into like the punk scene, and some of my friends' bands played like the halftime shows, back when it was like the beer, drink, and spin the wheel type deal.
Sure, yeah.
And,
yep.
Went out a few times, and then one of the guys was like, "Hey, man, you should play." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I've never even roller skated." And then went to a Misfit game, and was like, "That's just a mosh pit on roller skates." I'm in.
That's often how I describe it as well.
Yeah. But yeah, that went to one practice, and I was like, "All right, well, I got this. Let's go."
Nice. So you said you had never skated before. Does that mean like not even at like the roller rink or gone to any birthday parties or anything?
So no, I missed out on like in Jacksonville. Most of the rinks on my side of town got demolished when I was a kid, so I never went into the roller skating rink parties. My wheel background was bicycles and skateboards.
Okay, that's fair. What kind of other sports did you play growing up in high school or college or anything like that?
So never played sports in high school. I thought, that was just mainly skateboarding and partying, and didn't do college till I was 30. So
that's fair.
But as a kid, it was like, youth football, youth baseball, all that, soccer, general, whatever, like your parents just throw you in,
Sure. Fair enough. Do you still have any like appreciation for sports? Are you a sports fan still outside of Derby?
Yeah. So growing up in Jacksonville, big NFL guy,
Sure.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry to hear that.
9. Yeah, right. I was 9 when they were a team. So my grandpa and dad took me to football games as a kid.
Sure.
So I have been groomed to.
I was going to say you were like
loss.
Indoctrinated with it, right?
Yeah, so.
That's fair. I'm a Bears and a Bills fan, so I can feel your pain.
Yeah, well, yeah. The Bills and Bears have had a rough go too.
Sure, yeah. Let's talk about taking to Derby and learning how to skate. How do you think the process was? Are you like relatively athletic? Was it easy for you, or did you struggle to even get some of the basics down?
So I think it was relatively easy. The hardest part, honestly, for me when I first started was I was really committed in trying to hockey stop before I could even stop on toe stops.
Sure.
Because I saw, learning with the Misfits, those guys, jam skaters, they started without toe stops and all that stuff, so they just used edges a whole bunch. So the crossovers and most other stuff was pretty easy. I had good balance. It was just learning how to use the edges was the biggest struggle.
Cool. Did you was there like a fresh or a new skater program when you started, or was it just kind of like drinking from the fire hose?
So there at the time, Misfits did not have a fresh skater program. I came in, went to a practice, and it was right around champs for them at that time. So I went in and I was like, "Hey, I'm the new guy," and they were just hyper focused on going. I think it was when they went to it's the year they lost in New York, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, they were more focused on that. So I was just kind of off in the cut, and then every now and then you'd be like, "All right, your turn," and I would just go.
Sure. So did you have like a specific aha moment where you really fell in love with roller derby?
Man, that's a good question. I actually think it was, what was it, spring roll? The first spring roll I went to. So it was my second year in, and I had decided, internally decided I wasn't going to spring roll with the team because I, had only been doing this for like 6 months. And my coach, who is now my wife, she called and said, hey, you should go. And I was like, why? I'm not really going to skate. She's like, you should go. You'll skate. I was like, all right. Went and we played, I think it was the Maelstrom. And one of my I broke my toe stop off and snapped off mid-game.
Sure.
And somehow still got through and still started pushing. And like, all right, this is fun. I was getting hammered by, they were a big team at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of big dudes. And getting just pretty much the crap beat out of me, but still able to do it. And I was like, all right, something switched at that time. That was that trip, really.
Cool.
It's very cool. So we're talking because you've got champs coming up, and is this the first time you had a chance to go to the playoffs?
No. So this is the first time. So with champs, first champs overseas, I've been a couple of times. I think last one was 2019 before the world paused.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was going to ask. It's like you got to fly across the. How do you prepare to travel as a team and everything?
So, yeah, this one's a tough one because spending the extra money going to other countries, you've got to make a week out of it. So, as a team, everybody's got their own plans, and then once everybody's getting there early, actually, I think some people are already there. So getting the vacation portion of it out early,
sure,
and then getting that time zone switch. I fly out Monday, so I'll be there Tuesday. And then once Thursday rolls around, regroup as a team and, team dinner, team meetings, all that stuff, and get down to business.
Nice.
Yeah, it's only like, what, 5 hours difference, I think, right? I think it could be worse.
Yeah, I think from here, I think it's 6 because 6 from Florida.
Yeah.
I think most people on our team are on the East Coast. So
nice. What kind of extra plans do you have for while you're there?
So this is I don't actually have any plans because Stephanie, this is one trip she's not able to make because her team's going to Portland 2 weeks afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm notoriously not good at planning trips, and I just kind of fire at the hip. So
okay.
Only just started looking at things to do, and I think I found I might take a train ride to Edinburgh, which is about like an hour and a half, and that looks pretty cool. Nice. Yeah. Scope out Newcastle because everything's kind of, from what I've gathered, is in walking distance.
Sure, why not, right? Yeah, you've never been there before, I'm guessing, so.
Yeah, might run around Newcastle if it's not raining. I looked at the forecast. It's like 70% chance of rain, so. And it's also going to be in like the 40s.
Sure. Yeah, pack a coat. That'll be no fun.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees next week. I'm standing outside in a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals right now. So it's a big. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Really.
Fair enough.
It gives away you live in the South. Okay.
Right. So the Misfits have always been a relatively high ranked team, a high performing team. You join not really being able to skate. You work your way up to the charter or the roster, however you want to look at it. Have you felt, and now you're going off to, champs and whatnot. Have you felt like a pressure to perform at a high level being with such a highly ranked team?
Oh man, every time we take the track, I've got the competitive spirit, so pressure. I always put pressure on myself more than the team probably does. Like you said, always high ranking. What is it? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride type deal.
Yeah, fair.
Like 2019, we thought it was our year, and just to come in just so close, we were like maybe 10 minutes away from winning, and just didn't finish strong.
Sure.
So got the silver medal, but not the gold one. So now it's like first time back. We weren't able to do the the Cup last year.
Yeah, North American qualifiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Western Hemisphere Cup. Yeah, same thing, but different. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we made an and weren't able to participate.
Yeah,
is what I'll say.
No, that's fair. We when I was with the Guardians, we had to serve a similar penalty for starting too fast from COVID or whatever. It's a silly mistake, and mostly came down to like paperwork getting dropped. Not to call anybody out or anything like that, but you guys weren't the only ones.
Yeah, no, we just with all of us. I mean, the fact that we were able to pull through it as a team, we actually came out of that penalty a lot stronger as a league and a team too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
And you looked great this past year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So postseason, this is I don't want to say meaningful, but it's like the first high pressure, win or go home type scenario almost.
Right. That's great.
So you brought up 2019 earlier when you lost to the Gatekeepers in that final game, but you had beaten them earlier in the year, which was the first time that had happened in years. So I could see how you could think maybe going in that was your year and everything for sure.
Yeah, because we played them. I forget the tournament name, but it was in Philly.
ECDX. Yeah, I called the game. I was the arena announcer calling it.
Okay, yeah. So that game was awesome. We actually came in shorthanded. We only had 10 guys on the bench that game too.
And you got hurt too.
Wild.
You lost a couple skaters to injuries, I think. Or no, they lost the skaters to injury. That's right. Yeah.
They had a couple people go down from injuries.
I was gonna say, somebody like broke their leg in like the first 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a wild game overall.
It was exciting, and then we're like, all right, we're full strength. We've got this. Just maintain composure, and we didn't finish it. You can win 55 minutes of a game and still lose it. So.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that's what they say. You got to play a whole 60 or whatever, or 48 or whatever, depending on what game you're playing. So
exactly.
But I mean, it's still got to feel like really, really good to know that you were at the time the only team in the last like 10 years to have beaten the Gatekeepers. That's still really gnarly.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was a great feeling, but to know the job wasn't done yet just made us a little bit hungrier.
Sure.
And then just to not pull through it at the end.
I know we're all excited to see how Champs shakes out. There's going to be some strong competition. The only other team to have beaten them in the last decade is Denver, who is certainly going to be there. Do you have anything specifically that you're looking forward to outside of the high pressure situation? Is there like a particular matchup you're hoping for, or something specific that you're hoping for as far as the tournament goes?
Well, let's see. Honestly, just to get to the game, we have I guess we drew the short straw on the seeding tournament when it comes to high rank. So we've got to beat, I think, 3 teams ranked higher than us.
Yeah.
Back to back to back. So our path goes through Borderland, then St. Louis if we beat them, and then if we beat them, maybe Denver if they can pull through with concussion, which.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough sell.
That'll be it. So it'll be a tough road, man.
Right.
So just hitting every stop is what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely.
Do you feel comfortable knowing all these teams that are in there? Because I've seen in Human League and scores and stuff, but I've never got a chance to watch them. And so there's games. I mean, there's some teams out there that you think possibly could be a wild card and upset somebody.
I think so. I like you said, I haven't really watched too much of the European, I guess, derby, if you will.
No, that's fair.
Up until recently, because, odds are we're not going to play them that often because
right.
Logistically speaking, we're
geographically,
not going to fly that often.
right.
Yeah, and so watching them, I think all those teams are pretty tough, man. If they don't look like they're going to pull any punches. So be ready to take one on the chin or in the chest or...
Sure.
And they're trying to prove something too, because just with the geographics, they don't have the rankings aren't always in their favor. So
so it's fascinating to me that 2 of likely the at least 2 out of the top 3 favorite teams, you and the Gatekeepers, are ultimately going to end up being like your team's second game of the weekend. Kind of wild to have that one so early in the weekend, but Ooh, excuse me. I think we're all really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Me too. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and getting in that environment that we haven't been in a long time.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great to truly have like that champs environment. You know, I'm kind of bummed we're not going to be there. I'm glad everybody else is. I'm glad we're getting back to some normalcy. So yeah, that's really awesome. I'm glad that we're finally getting back to having, you know, a high level championship again.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk. You had mentioned your coach turned wife. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How does something like that come about, and does it make your life a little bit easier having a partner in roller derby, or does it make it, you know, a bit harder because y'all are busy all the time?
So it happened. It just kind of happened. You know.
I love that.
It wasn't like we're like, oh yeah, and like just did it. It just happened.
Okay, good.
And but before we got married and had Maverick, which was 2.5 years now, so it was easier having somebody in Derby because it's like we understand busy schedules. Yeah. We can travel with each other. Like we're going like all over the country, you know. So and we could do it together. Now it's a little bit more challenging because we have Maverick and like we have to pick and choose our trips. Like we've got the family vacation, and then normally she would be coming to, you know, Newcastle with me, but she can't because 2 weeks later she's going to Portland. So, during like crunch time, which is right now, we're passing in the night, if you will, like practice days. It's like, all right, I'll see you at 2, and then she's leaving at 2. Like I'll see you at 7.
Right.
So it does make for a little bit like the logistics behind training and just practice is a little bit more challenging.
Definitely.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm thinking about it. It's in BA, and it's not rocket science.
Say, Florida's just like the spot for like derby weddings and relationships.
Yeah, I mean, people come to retire and move here, right?
Sure. Yeah. Why not start early?
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. No, good. Speaking of BA, you had mentioned when I asked a little bit about you, you had mentioned you're an old school punk. Is BA somebody who might be a little bit responsible for getting you involved in roller derby?
No, him and Snot moved down from Pittsburgh, which
after you started. Yeah, I guess that's right. They did. Yeah.
So when they moved down, he fit right in with the Misfits. It's like he'd been on the team the whole time, you know. Like,
sure.
Yeah, but no, if I was in Pittsburgh, we probably would have crossed paths in the scene, and same down here, you know. But just two different areas of the country.
Oh, for sure. What's one of your favorite? What's one of the best shows you've ever been to?
So funnest show I've ever been to. Was in Richmond, Virginia. It used to be a fest called Best Friends Day.
Sure.
It was Propagandi.
Nice.
Andrew WK and Alkaline Trio. So it was like I went to this place. It was Alkaline Trio opened.
Sure.
Andrew WK played second, and then Propagandi, it was right around I think when they made Failed States. If you know that album at all.
I do.
But. Yeah, so it was right around that time frame, I think, and it was just I was like, I'm going to go to the show because one, it doesn't seem to make sense logistically, but
right.
It was in this 2-story building in Richmond. If you've ever been there, everything's kind of old, and
sure,
it the amount of force jumping up and down on the second floor just felt like the floor was going to cave in.
Yeah,
and Andrew WK doesn't even make sense to be at a show like this.
As a human, right?
Literally just. Played the Party Started song and just started I almost said it. I almost did it.
I'm proud of you.
Effing things up.
Yeah.
And then everybody just got super pumped, and then Propaganda came out and just started shredding. It was pretty sick.
Nice. That does sound like a good show. I'm a big Alkaline Trio fan, and I can confirm that Andrew WK puts on a gnarly show, so I am right there with you.
Yeah, it's the only honestly the one that didn't fit the most was Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, that's a little bit less punk, more emo, pop punk, whatever. But yeah, that's rad though.
But yeah, just because of the 3 different styles all at the same time
Sure.
is pretty fun.
Definitely. What was the last bit of physical media that you might have bought, as far as like a CD or a record or something like that?
So I actually just bought Weezer's Blue album.
Cool, classic.
On vinyl. So now that my son's 2.5, and so when I'm gonna be a dad here. Like after bath time and during wind down time, I'll throw a record on the record player.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to try to get them too amped up, so I'm trying to get so I'll play some things that are a little bit mellow. And I saw it. I got hooked by an internet ad, and I was like, "Oh, it's only $25. I could get this." And
nice.
then it's been on rotation about 4 nights in a row now, just after bath time.
Cool. Check out Sparrow Sleeps if you haven't. They do like lullaby covers of punk, emo, hardcore, stuff like that. It's pretty fascinating.
Oh, I remember that from when he was like a baby.
Sure, very cool.
I think they did a NoFX album as a lullaby.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
I was like, this is great. And then it's literally a lullaby, and like you'll just doze off with it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. Let's get back to Derby talk for a little bit before we let you go. What kind of goals have you set for yourself heading into Champs in a week from today?
So all year I have been like, my biggest focus has been explosiveness and endurance.
Sure.
So I have worked my ass off to, just go.
Yeah,
And,
I love that.
So, just give it like 110% gas, like all the time, every time. So that way, like if you do a 2-minute jam, it's a minute 50 in, like I still have 10 seconds left in the tank versus everybody else that's got nothing. That's my ultimate goal, is just to learn how to outlast and endure.
Sure. No, that's reasonable. That sounds good.
Pushing for 2 minutes sounds like fun, right?
I love that. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. Thanks, last practice. Thank you, Wall. Whatever, I can't say their nickname online. Thank you, Wall, that didn't allow me to move about 12 feet for the first minute and a half last week.
Sure. Nice. Good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, guys.
Cool. So you've been doing this for a while now. You've gotten to play some high-level derby across the country, now going to be across the world. But who are some of your favorite teams or favorite players to play with or against?
So I haven't done too many like mixed teams up until like this year. I actually got signed up for your team Clowntown.
Sure. Cool.
And I played in Monsoon Madness in Arizona. That was a pretty fun team. I had only met 2 people that I skated with up until that weekend.
Awesome.
But everybody on that team, it was a great time. From the MRDA side, it was Lemon and Hurricane Heather from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So Lemon's the one that actually got me to join Clowntown. So those were the 2 that I knew, and played with Plumber and Wombo.
Yeah.
So that was a good mix up. Getting to like skate with people that normally try to kill me. They were trying to help me this time.
Right. Yeah. Mixing it up's always a good time.
Yeah, and but to play against, man, honestly, I like playing against teams that hit hard and don't relent. So one of the teams I like to play the most, actually, we played them a few times recently, has been it's not Lane, it's just Concussion, man. Those guys are tough.
Yeah.
Or that team is tough, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm excited to play against this iteration of the Gatekeepers. I've watched some of their footage, and the league that they've got up there, man, turns out good team after good team.
Yeah, so. No, even with all the turnover that they've had, they still have, currently the top team in the MRDA, I believe. So, pretty wild. Yeah. Awesome. Well,
can I get one little one?
Of course you can.
Okay, so you're not playing Friday, but there's 3 games on Friday. You gonna watch those? I mean, because even the team you're playing on Saturday is already set. So none of these teams playing on Friday. You'll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah.
I'm assuming so. Yeah, you would be there.
So yeah, I think they had a last minute cancellation.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and I think Borderland was supposed to play them on Friday. So I'm not sure if they got a bye. Really
They did.
They did.
Yeah, they did, and there's going to be a
They
exhibition
turned it into
game.
like an exhibition game for that new. I forget
the
where they're
15
coming
Ravens.
from, but yeah, the that team, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to go check it out, check the venue out.
Right.
Figure out where I'm going to be at. So I like to get there on the first day.
Put your
I'm a
chair
morning
down.
person. Yeah, I'm a morning person, so I'm usually up at like 5:30 in the morning anyway.
Nice.
So it's like, what am I gonna? Might as well just go. It's like 10 minutes away, and I can walk there.
Rock on. Cool. Well, good luck to you. Safe travels. I hope you have a blast. But before I let you go, I want to know what you think the future of roller derby looks like.
Man, it's gonna be good. I mean, with the pause, it's like all these new skaters on the MRDA side of things. Like they're younger, they're hungrier, they're faster, they're stronger. It's like they're gonna slowly push us old dudes out, and it's gonna become.
Heard that.
I think it's heading in a direction for high level competitiveness. Will be an open division, and it's gonna just MRDA's might, but just the extra edge. You know what I mean? I haven't really watched too much WFTA this year because I've been so focused. So
Sure.
I think it's kind of trending in an open direction for some extreme high level stuff.
Awesome.
Very
Cool.
Very
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Like I said, good luck this weekend. We appreciate you. Have a great night.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a safe trip.
See ya.
Bye.
Cool.
All
We got a couple of minutes left. Do you want to bang through a couple of the closest bouts and stuff here?
Sure. This is from WFTDA side. We had closest bouts from last weekend. We had Vancouver 159, SoCal 161. That's a 2-point game. Ike. We had Sierra 150 over San Fernando 143. That's a 7-point game. Sin City 125 over Sierra. Remember, Sin City played a bunch of games, I think, last weekend, but the one that was closest was 125 over Sierra 115. Steel City lost to Penn Jersey 151 and 138. We got Twin State over Halifax 176 to 159, and those are about in fact, including I will say one of the biggest upsets was that Penn Jersey beating Steel City.
Nice.
Gem City losing to the second win from is it Chicago Windy City Roller Derby, 183 to 65. So Gem City's been a very good team for all this year. So
Nice.
it's really interesting to see that they had lost, because we had seen them a bunch of times in the last couple of years, and I saw them at the playoffs down there down in Penn State. So that we do have some close predictions for this weekend too.
Yeah,
I think
we got some games coming up. We've got Dock City at Helsinki. Looks like Helsinki's given the nudge there a little bit. We've got Orlando taking on ARD, with Orlando being favored. Oulu is favored a little over Dublin. Montana is the underdog going up against DRD. That's Denver's B team, right?
Yeah, Bruising Altitude.
Then we have Bay State Brawlers taking on BRD. In Santa Cruz and Minnesota. Both Bay State and Santa Cruz are favored.
Wow.
Those are also the bouts to watch.
I just love that name, the Rumble Bees.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
It's one of my favorite
Why don't you
names.
hit some of the? Did you close that page that you?
Oh yeah, I did. I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say, why don't you hit some of the known matchups? But don't forget, we do have the MRDA Champs taking place. A week from today in Newcastle, England. It's going to be pretty wild. Make sure you're checking that out. The games are going to take place at like 4 a.m. for us.
I know
it sucks, but hopefully we'll be able to catch the replays. I know Moose will be over there in the MRDA board, so hopefully they'll have some good streaming going. And definitely go check that out. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here in a minute, and we're gonna leave our buddy George to his show. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. You are listening to Derby Rocz on 106.3 WRFC. thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
You are listening to Derby Rocks on 106.3 WRFC.